Like we experienced like the wild west, the ICO period of the time where you have the extreme idealist and the extreme like gangster vibe. I actually embrace one mission. We want to onboard the global masses onto crypto investment. As simple as that. And as difficult as that. Very quickly hit our goalpost of 200 million TVL with around 400,000 of wallets holding the indexes. Say the SoSoValue terminal is like the free version of Bloomberg. That's what a lot of our users said.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, everyone. In the past phase, often in the world of Web3, data is a new goal, but raw data is LS. Data is useless without the tools and analysis. Today, we are incredibly excited to be joined by Jesse, the CEO of SoSoValue, and one of the most insightful and powerful data analytic platforms in the crypto space. Hi, Jesse. Huge welcome to the show, and please make a brief introduction of yourself.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. My name is Jessie. I'm the co-founder of SoSoValue. And here at SoSoValue, we actually embrace one mission. We want to onboard the global masses onto crypto investment. As simple as that. And as difficult as that. As investors ourselves, when we first get into crypto, we realized in the very beginning that there's like one hurdle that I have to go through is how do we actually understand the space in order to trust it, in order to put money into it for the long run. We got stopped at step one. So that's exactly why we first created a SoSoValue terminal. The goal is to help investors understand the crypto landscape without having to pay for a gazillion different subscriptions, without having open 20 different tabs, without having to worry about which Twitter to follow, which Discord to follow. So we want to put everything in one place and then structure it in a way that makes sense to investors, especially people who are not crypto native, right? And so that people can trust and to follow, to track what is happening in the crypto market for an expanded period of time. And at that time, once you build the initial trust with this landscape, you can actually put money into it and invest in a good crypto assets. But we're here to, the first step is to really answer the question, like, how do you find good crypto assets, right? And we're here to solve that problem. And then later on, we have our indexes, which is to solve the second layer, which is what is a good assets to buy. And we created the indexes, with following the passive strategy, because learning from the Warren Buffetts of the world, we know that the best way to win in the long term for average investor is to dollar average into a good broad-based indexes. So that's exactly why we created Max 7, and that's why we created many different indexes along the way. And we very quickly hit our goalpost of 200 million TVL with around 400,000 of wallets holding the indexes, especially in spot indexes, where we created an entire protocol. And then we very quickly hit a roadblock again, is like, how do we onboard people onto the on-chain world? Because we want to create a spot index that's purely on-chain. Everything is transparent. All of the strategy and methodology is transparent. We put it on Base Chain. Shout out. We're actually the top protocol on Base ecosystem right now. But a lot of people, especially when they're new to crypto, they don't understand what is the gas fee for Base is actually Ethereum.
Yeah.
We spend a lot of time in hand-holding investors and onboarding into on-chain world. And that's when we realized that, hey, maybe that's another piece of the puzzle we need to solve, is the infrastructure side for onboarding the next billions of users and fund. We actually have to take care of that the infrastructure piece. So that's exactly why we're building Value Chain, which is our proprietary layer one, and then our SoDex, which is our on-chain order book based DEX, to solve that last mile issues. So accidentally we built like a DeFi empire, so to speak. But our mission is very simple, is we want to make more investors understanding crypto and enabling them to invest in crypto and in the long run and make money in the long run.
Can I see this as the top one pinpoint of the investors using the SoSoValue? Because today's conversation, we are focused on empowerment and how the tools like yours can fundamentally change in the game for investors. You just mentioned that some of the investors, they don't even know what gas fee is.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a very interesting cycle, right? Because being in crypto for a few years now, like we have been through a few major milestones of the industry together, right? Like we experienced like the wild west, the ICO period of the time where you have the extreme idealist and the extreme like gangster vibe. There's no rules, like ape into something and become a gazillionaire, and then the next day it all went down to zero. Just like the wild west. And then like the second phase of crypto, we have seen emergence of like huge centralized exchanges, and then people we will call them traders / gamblers. You still like pick individual stock and hoping it would 10x, right? And it's like a PvP type of trading, but at least that is following a certain rule. And then that's what we call it, the casino phase. And then now we're entering a new era that we haven't really experienced before, and it's accelerating at unprecedented speed as well, thanks to the US election, thanks to the passing of a BTC spot ETF. Shout out to our dashboard. We're actually the first one to capture the key indicator of that milestone historical event is we identified the net inflow and outflow of BTC ETF. And that screen has been screenshotted many times by different media and KOLs and that's what we see our value is at. We understand the traditional market as stock investment market very well. And we're seeing in this cycle is more so-called TradFi money coming into crypto, and crypto is embracing regulation and embracing the traditional financial route. And we see crypto being an irreversible trend. That crypto will be a major part of the future financial system for everyone. And we're just being really lucky at the right time and right place. And this momentous change of time. What we want to capture is we want to help people who have an interest in crypto allocation, especially the more mature investor profile. They can trust and invest in crypto in a very safe and sound and long-term way.
Yes, just like you just mentioned the transparency for the on-chain data, how did you see the investors struggling with the metrics like net flow, exchange balances, or all transactions before they have platform like yours to interpret it?
Yeah, that's an excellent question, because the number one barrier we had when we're entering the field is there's so much jargon in crypto, and people pride themselves like on all this random new concept emerging every day. And then there's like a zillion different things to call the same thing. And then we actually internally have a really long and heated debate of whether to call it on our indexes, whether to call it POI or ROI. There's so many different terms to package this very simple ideas that's already been tested and have a consensus on in traditional finance. So there was a really interesting first stage challenge for the SoSoValue team is to help people from different expertise and field to come together and create consensus over what this thing actually is. What is liquidity restaking? What is BTC, the inscriptions times? Like what is it actually is, right? And internally we enjoy a very diverse team. We have people coming in from AI, from investment banking, from the trading desk at Goldman Sachs, and developers, engineers, and we also have marketer. And when we come together, we realize, okay, creating that consensus over what different terms means and what makes most sense to investors to track, because we have limited bandwidth as investors. And what we realize is there's no lack of information out there. What is lacking is a structured way to understand it and to fact check it and to understand what is opinion, what is data and fact, and what is a long-term research piece, what is like purely noise. And that's exactly what we did in step one. Use AI, thanks to ChatGPT, we can do it at scale, is to tag and sort out what different bucket this information belongs to, and then give them proper tagging. Then everyone would create a consensus over what to track. That's step one. And the second one is we created a dashboard. In our front page, you can actually see this philosophy. People understand a new sphere or a new landscape, leveraging what they already know from the real financial investment world. We're already familiar with the top-down framework, right? What is the overall market cap of the entire stock market, and what are the top sectors? It could be AI, it could be new energy, it could be nuclear power, whatever. And then within it, you will have a basket of tokens to watch. And within the tokens to watch, you have a few key indicators. So following that very simple top-down logic, we're applying to crypto. And what we realized, like no one is actually doing it in the crypto world. People are busy tracking like different whales movement, but no one is doing the very simple groundwork. And originally, we're creating it only for our own internal users. And we realized it's a huge product market fit. So that's that's exactly was the birth of SoSoValue. And if you log on to the SoSoValue.com on PC especially, you will see this logic apply. What is the overall crypto market today? And how does it apply to different sectors? What is the increases or decreases of the sector dominance? And then within each sectors, you can see what are the top coins to track. And then once we created those baskets, investors are asking that, okay, great, now you created an NFT sector or an AI sector. Can we actually track it across a period of time? So based on that request, we created the indexes. First of all, it's only for observational. So people can track like how that this narrative performs, right? Because there's a new narrative that's coming up in crypto every day. We all remember that the DeSci last year, and then many different concepts like the BTC layer 2, whatever. So once we created it and we put a timeline over it, you can track how does this perform over time, especially against BTC, right? Which is like serving as a beta of the market. So once that is established, investors are like, okay, great. Like now I can have a longitudinal or a time-based tracker. Now, we see there's several narratives that's consistently outperforming the beta, which is the BTC. Can we actually buy it? Just like when we buy the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100, the QQQs of the world, like can we actually buy it? So that's exactly when we created this mock buy button and we put it there just for testing, right? Like how many people are interested. And we said to ourselves, once it passes 1 million clicks, we will actually look into how to realize that. And we hit that, the goalpost like very quickly, like within weeks. And we're like, okay, great, people actually do want it. Actually, it's quite polarizing. It's very telling. The crypto native of the world that says, why would you need something like this? You would just go and buy it yourself, a basket of top 7 tokens. But at the same time, especially for people who are using our website, a lot of them are coming from not crypto native world. They're like, this is exactly like Vanguard or Charles Schwab's of the world. I understand this model very well, especially if it's in spot. This is what I want. So after a very thorough user engagement, we started to build a team to build out this protocol for almost a year to fine-tune it, to figure out how to buy the underlying assets in spot, put it into licensed custody like Seifu, Coinbase custody, etc., and Kobo, and then mirror it out into an index token and put it into Uniswap on Base chain so that is permissionless. So that entire process and working with liquidity provider as well to make sure that there's very limited slippage, that took us a year and a bit. And it was very rewarding because we also hit the right time that the US election was happening at the same time, and we also TG at the same time. So all that compounding with the launch of our indexes, we immediately raised to 200 mil TVL, and it was soaring since then. It consistently outperforming BTC. I believe the yearly ROI is 27% up from BTC beta. So we're really proud of what we created. And yeah, this is where we are so far. At each step of the road, we listen to the community and then they keep raising different requests. We built out a lot. We kept shipping a lot within the last year.
Yes, amazing. So you have just shared us with a lot of AI-related situations. Let's make it tangible. So can you walk us through a specific feature or dashboard on SoSoValue and show us how it directly translates into an investment decision?
Yeah, I guess the most tangible way to interact with our AI is actually interacting with our AI. If you log on to SoSoValue.com, on the top left corner, you can see Socrates, which is our AI agent. What is Socrates very good at? If you give me your Soso ID, I can give you more tokens to interact with Socrates. As I mentioned, we were using AI to do a lot of the information cleaning, proper tagging, and curation. And we're feeding a lot of that information into our own LLM. It was based on different layers of LLM, and we would keep switching it out because the AI world is evolving too quickly. We were testing out like the nano bananas is like absolutely insane. But we keep evolving with it. Right now is we're using ChatGPT and DeepSeek models, and then we're testing out different models to see how we decrease the lagging time and then increase the usability of the model. But right now is basically sourcing all of the real-time market data, all of the real-time news, especially pertinent to crypto. And also the output is structured by a team of professional crypto and traditional stock investors and researchers. So what you can do that other general purposes AI couldn't do is to pull out immediate fresh news. For example, yesterday, NASDAQ just announced that it is filing with the SEC on crypto tokenizing all of its stocks, right? Immediately, it would be fitted to SoCatcher. So you can ask, what is the implication? And what are the other KOLs or what the institutions are saying about it? And immediately, we'll be pulling information that we are tagged as credible sources and to structure in a way that would make sense to you and then give you an indicator of where it would move the market. Another thing is really good at that I love using it is for the macro analysis because that's what we pride ourselves on. You remember that we got known by our ETF dashboards. We actually also have a macro tracker. If you look onto our website on the left-hand side, there's like a macro tag. We pull all of the Fed rate cuts predictions and all of the major macro announcements like the CPI, CPC, all of the macro indicators and calendars we have on there. So you can see like what other major narratives happening in the real world would affect crypto and in what way. So yeah, that's how in a very tangible way users can inform their investment decisions using our AI.
Yes. As far as we have just mentioned that the spirit of SoSoValue just from data to alpha, right? But this is the generating alpha. So can you share a hypothetical or a specific case of how a fund manager might use SoSoValue to spot the opportunity to avoid a disaster? So it's like a risk management thing. So we use taking for alpha, so we have to avoid maybe 99% of the risk.
Yeah, that's a really good question because I feel like capturing alpha is a game with such a few subset of winners. Most of the people, especially for retail investors, they win by holding just like the Warren Buffett said, right? Exactly. It's not really like a absolute alpha, but I think most of people would win by capturing pre-beta. So we want to capture in a market of fast-changing world, right? When there's a new token being issued on a daily basis, there's a new stable coin, and there's a new concept on a daily basis. How individual or average investors can win is what we're most interested in. And we realize that in this cycle, we're actually super lucky because this is a trend where the alpha is slowly becoming the beta. Crypto before was like the pure alpha, but right now, we can recognize it's becoming more and more mainstream and a lot of people are putting a lot more money into it. So it's actually in a phase where it's coming from a very niche trend into a mainstream trend. And this is when people like us can make the most money by buying and holding like a broader base passive indexes instead of like aping into individual coins. And what we want to help investors capture is a trend that we recognize for the long term, right? It's not a new narrative that might disappear tomorrow, but is a certain sense of certainty in the age of uncertainty. And for us, we can tell that this is an age where the crypto narrative is playing out 100% in the DeFi world. It's becoming an irreversible part of the financial world. All the other narrative, like the GameFi, has not really played out yet, but the financial piece is something that we really understand and could own. And there are so many learnings that we could apply from the traditional stock investment that we can see. A lot of the wisdom could already apply into this field that could help us not leave the gambling table, right? Just stay in the game. So I guess for SoSoValue, we're really serving investors who have a little bit more longer term mindset into crypto, who are not typically like if you're aping 90% of your personal asset into one specific meme coins on Pump.fund, you're probably not a SoSoValue user. You will find it too slow and dry. But if you're interested in like a 20% yearly ROI over BTC, then maybe you're our target users, because then you can observe. It's much easier to analyze a trend of a certain sectors or a certain field or a type of token instead of picking the winner. That's like of our general philosophy. I know it's a little bit old school, but that's what we see as winning in the long run. But recently in Japan, where we also met at WebEx, we had a dinner with all of our top index holders, and a lot of them are having like a 200% return on their Max 7. Yeah, I was really amazed to see how immediately they understand the value of our spot-based index. I was asking them, why would you buy and hold a Max 7? And then they would be like, so this is just like NASDAQ or just like Vanguard. If I hold your ETF, I would get the Vanguard stocks or shares. So exactly for in our case, if you buy and hold the Max 7, you would get SoSo airdrop. So as a Max 7 holder, you would get our share of the stocks, so to speak. So they can already draw what they know from the traditional stock investment world into crypto. And as I said, the best way to get into a new field is to leverage something you already know and trust in your comfort zone and bring it into a new context. And that's what SoSoValue do very well and could resonate with our initial core users. And that's something that we want to amplify moving forward.
Yes, just like the traditional stock investors, for the retail investor, you just mentioned that might feel overwhelmed by institutions, because the institutions have better tools. So how does SoSoValue help the retail or individual investors? You just said they can buy and hold. They can also seeking for alphas using SoSoValue. How do they do that?
Yeah, in the shortest way to answer that is we offer SoSoValue Terminal for free. We believe that top-graded, Wall Street level graded information should be for free for everyone. Because crypto is about leveling the playing field, is about enabling everyone to have a chance to succeed in this world that's already very hierarchical and where it's very difficult to break through the socioeconomic glass ceiling. Crypto is about breaking that. On average, one crypto wallet holds maybe 200 to 300 USD. But before SoSoValue, we were also buying a lot of the professional research reports and a lot of the professional data services for 1,000 or 2,000 per month. That already is creating an unfair advantage or barrier to entry into the world. So simply answering your question, we believe that should be for free. So that's why we created a Bloomberg level of professional financial data experience for crypto investors, but completely for free. Yeah.
But if someone else say that SoSoValue the Web3 version of Bloomberg, what will reply on? Is that a correct conception that SoSoValue is a Web3 version of Bloomberg?
Yeah, I would say the SoSoValue terminal is like the free version of Bloomberg. That's what a lot of our users said.
Come on.
Exactly. So the first reaction of everyone during token 2049 in the first year, everyone after they seeing our demo is like, okay, great, how much should I pay? Because especially to a lot of the Western users, they already pay thousands and tens of thousands of dollars per year to access the same information. So it's unbelievable to them that this is for free, but that's actually what we're doing to create real value for users. And then we want to win together with the users in the long run. We want to be the Vanguard and Charles Schwab's of the world moving forward. That's our end goal. So that's why we're offering everything for free on the information side.
Yes, just like SoSoValue is building a long-term data platform, just like Bloomberg. So it's not like some kind of a paid tools like copy trading. So you can easily find in the YouTube advertisements. It's different things. Because some of the retail investors, they say, if you can help us to make money, you can charge the fees. But for the long run, probably it's not a very good option. So for now, SoSoValue is a free tool and user-friendly tool for both the retail and the institutional investors. So can you just explain your future long-term plans of the platforms to our audience? Some of our subscribers need to know how they can use SoSoValue better, and they will develop as much as possible of the functions of
Yes, that's a great question. So we actually have evolved very quickly from just being a data platform. Right? As you can see already, we have built the spot index protocol, which is SSI. And then on the roadmap side, we're really excited to share that we are in the testnet phase of SoDex, which is our proprietary on-chain order book-based DEX. Exactly like you said, different profile of investors or even the same investors in different contexts will have different investment needs. And what we're here is to serve those needs. Whatever investor needs. It could be information, it could be asset allocation, and it could be trading. So those are the three pillars that we built. The information side, with the terminal, we've checked it. And with the asset allocation and long-term investment, we have the index protocol. And then now the third pillar we're building is actually for the traders, like you said, who just want to put in like 10x leverage BTC. We think it would be really fun if we can speculate on an index. Like you can speculate on not only one token, but we can speculate on Max 7 or meme or AI, whatever comes up in the market. They would be a lot more fun. It would be like a lot more fair because it's much harder to manipulate or control the prices of a broader basket of tokens. And that's exactly why we built SoDex in the very beginning. We just want to solve two problems. One is how difficult it is for people to buy the SoSoValue indexes for many reasons that we experience. Like how do you on-ramp money? Like how do you get your own wallet? And how do you like figure out the gas fees? We want to eliminate all that. And the second one is the liquidity issues. Previously on Uniswap, based on the AMM model, you actually have to allocate a lot of capital to make sure that people are buying the indexes with a reasonable limit of a slippage. But we spend so much money to make sure that's the case. And that really prevents us from launching more indexes. We actually create an index tool. We wanted to allow everyone to be able to make your own index, but the limit is liquidity. So that's why we believe that the order book model on chain would be the way to go, especially for our spot indexes. We definitely need that speed and the liquidity to be deployed a lot easier and for a lot of people to participate into liquidity providing. So that's exactly why we built SoDex. It's actually building on our proprietary layer 1 value chain to support the future of DeFi applications. There's just another story to share. I'm actually really excited at the technological breakthroughs of our layer 1 team. They actually achieved the high-performing parallel chain to achieve the deterministic feature that a lot of the layer 2s failed to solve, balancing Ethereum's security versus like the high-performing needs. It's super nerdy. I won't dive into it, but like we're shipping really fast and we're still in testnet. We already have like more than 200,000 applicants in the group wanting to get on the testnet. We're allowing people in on a day-to-day basis, and we're going to mainnet very soon. If I dare say, Q4 this year. Super excited for the development.
Thank you for the details. Right now, I need to ask some macro question. Looking forward, how do you believe AI and data platforms will continue to reshape the crypto market landscape in the next maybe 2 to 3 years? We don't do the assumption for longer years, it's just 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, even 2 to 3 years is a crazy long time frame for AI, right? Like based on how things are developing, honestly, like, I was really blown away by the latest release on Nano Banana. I was just playing around with it, and I feel immense amount of respect and also fear for people who are building LLMs on the ground, because what you're building could be completely obsolete tomorrow.
How about the following 6 months? But tomorrow is too fast.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but we're really excited because we're looking to use AI as a tool to create real value for investors, right? And then the angle that we see that's most pertinent to us is how to tailor different investors' needs and then deliver information at the right time, right place, to help them make decisions. Right now, we're actually partnering up with Bybit for their Lens product to come up with a very personalized AI answer tailored to your portfolio. And then we're seeing that we could do it on a more nuanced level. We know exactly what type of investors you are. Maybe you love memes, or you spend most of the time on BTC related dashboards, or you spend most of the time on the ETF tab and the macro tab, we could push through different information to you or portfolio recommendation to you at the right time, at the right place. So everyone will see a different dashboard, so to speak. I think that's the most immediate future that we can see. And moving forward, I think even the execution side, maybe there will be robots, investors, for example, who could just automatically deploy your intent of investment into different basket or into different asset allocation. And that's something that we're also seeing that's happening in the field. But yeah, we're keeping a close eye on AI trends. What we see as the most immediate use case is still on the information side on how to help investors make more accurate, faster decisions is something that we're super interested in.
Thank you, Jesse. Thank you for your answer. And we had a good time right now. Please looking forward to the next step and upgrades of SoSoValue. And please subscribe me. Please follow us. I'm Encrypted. Have a nice day. See you.
Yes. See you next time.